Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jennifer Nxumalo. You can also call me Jen. I'd like to have you in this family by actually clicking that red subscribe button. And also guys, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as it does help for YouTube to push my videos for more people to see. So on today's video, just going straight to the point, we're going to be looking at what are some of the reasons why many people are always broke. Now these are not the only reasons, however, I just looked at the 5 reasons that are very common as to why most people are always broke, and we're going to look at all those points. Now, I do not like using the word broke, especially when I'm describing my finances. No matter how I can be struggling in that month or in that week, I just don't like using the word broke, because I just think that it's a very negative term, and it does affect your mindset and how you look at your finances. And so I try to avoid using such terms. However, for the purposes of this video, we will use the term because I just want to drive the point home, because there's literally no other word that I can use to describe, to kind of push the point home in terms of this video. So the first reason why many people are always broke is that they don't budget. Now, I know that there are people who honestly do not budget, who think that budgets are constraining. They look at budgets and think, life is too short for me to be doing that. Some people don't think that it's necessary. But if a state, if a state can have a budget and even have a budget speech, why can't you? If a business can have a budget and you can't have it, doesn't make sense. These things I think I'm talking about now, I'm talking about states, I'm talking about government. They always have a yearly budget. Whatever that they do is always aligned to their budget. So their strategy is always aligned to their budget. That's how they are able to provide all these services. Without their strategy, without the strategy and without the budget, they wouldn't be able to do all the things that they're doing. Same thing as businesses. Businesses also have their strategies, long-term, medium-term, and short-term. And then they have budgets to speak to those strategies. And they cannot do all the things that they intend to do if they don't have budgets, because what budget do is they allow you to put structure in whatever that you want to do. So if I'm talking to you personally, if you have a budget, it gives structure to your life, especially for the things that you intend to do. Now, if you do not have a budget, how are you going to make sure that the goals that you've set for yourself, you meet them? Think of it that way. And the simplest way that I can also describe a budget is basically you telling your money where it must go. If you do not take time to sit down with yourself and your money and look at it and say, okay, I want you to go here, I want you to tackle this, and this, and then at the end you tally everything up to see if you are within budget, then how are you gonna know what are your intentions for your month, for that month? Now, the reason why many people are always broke is that they don't set a budget. So a person will get paid, they will spend money willy-nilly. Okay, maybe they know that they have to pay for the car, they have to buy petrol, but they haven't put it down in paper that it makes sense. And so they end up running out of money, and because they run out of money, they find themselves broke, and then they reach out to their credit cards. That is one of the reasons why some people are always broke. The second reason why many people are always broke is that we focus on the payday and not the entire month. Now, I used to do this a lot when it comes to my finances. I will literally focus on the payday. Now, I get paid on the 15th. I knew exactly that, okay, these are the things that I needed to pay. Yes, I did my budget, but my budget was always limited to my payday. So pay for everything, save and invest, and then go buy my groceries, and then I'll go about my life. And then I forget that there's still 3 weeks for me to leave. Now, I did a video talking about weekly allowances and how it has changed the way that I manage my money. Please go check that video out, because it does go into details in terms of how this has allowed me to manage my money. Because I have given myself weekly allowance, I've actually allowed my budget to speak for the entire month instead of just 1 week, which is my payday. Now, I don't find myself always scrambling for cash. I don't find myself always stressed, where am I going to get this, how am I going to cover this, and all of that, because now I know that, okay, for this week I have this allocation, for that week I have that allocation, for that week I have that allocation. Yes, I can go beyond or below in terms of my spending. However, I know that I've planned for the entire month. So if you are not doing that, stop focusing only on just your payday. Plan for the entire month. You still have to leave for the next 3 weeks before you get paid. So if you really want to deal with being broke and always scrambling for cash, start planning for the entire month instead of just your payday. Point number 3, the reason why some people are always broke is that they cannot control their instant gratification. Now, there are people that just cannot. Now, here's the thing. We all have that edge. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like umuntu who uses drugs, and then when they are trying to get off them, then all of a sudden everything yaluma. It's like, I need the heat. I need the heat. Instant gratification is like that. When you get money, you just want to do that. You have that itch. You want to spend it. You want to, if let's say for instance you've wanted to buy a couch. I'll make an example with me because I want a couch. I could easily just say, you know what, I don't care, screw this, go to the shop, open an account, buy myself a couch, have it here, and then pay for it. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It just means that now I've incurred a debt in order for me to get that couch, because I just couldn't hold myself. I wanted that instant gratification. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to think about waiting. I didn't want to think about all of that. All I knew is I want a couch and I want it now. Now, if you are one of those people who honestly cannot prolong instant gratification, then you're always going to find yourself broke. Why? Because you are always going to be in a circle whereby if you want something, you don't care to what extent you're going to go in order to get it. So you can go use your credit card, maximize your credit card in order for you to get whatever that you want. You can go open a debt. So maybe let's say you go and open a retail account. You've incurred debt because why? You just don't want to wait. You don't want to plan, save, build that nest egg, and then once you have the entire money, go buy it. You know, that whole process is not easy, if we're just being honest. The process of having to save money, build it up slowly in order for you to buy whatever that you want cash. So that is why we find ourselves always going into debt, using debt in order to buy the things that we want. It's because of instant gratification. We do not want to wait. And we can blame it to everything that is happening, everything from social media and all the stuff. It's all about instant gratification, being happy now, getting that endorphins, all of those things, like getting the rush now. That's why the best way I can explain it is a person who uses drugs when they're trying to get out of it, or a person who uses drugs and then they're looking for the next hit. So if you can be a person that can prolong instant gratification, you're going to find yourself less and less broke. You're going to find yourself less and less incurring debts that you did not plan to, but then now because you really wanted that thing, you found yourself having that debt. So find a way to prolong instant gratification. Find something else to hold on to or to be busy with. That's how I'm able to stay on top of this, because if I'm just being honest, I also struggle with this. Like, I do want things now, and the idea of waiting is just not nice. But I find something else to hold on to, and then I get busy with something else, you know, and YouTube keeps me very busy. And that's how I'm able to prolong my instant gratification. Fourth reason why many people are always broke is that they have too much debt. Now, I think many of us do not want to accept this, that we are drowning in debt. Many of us are drowning in debt. Now, if you have a lot of debt, you're always going to find yourself broke, because most of your money goes towards servicing debt. Now, how this affects your money is that you have money coming in, but then it's always affecting your cash flow, because you're always having to service this debt and they're on an interest. And it's even worse when you are always just paying a bare minimum, because you are going to pay for the thing for a very long time. Banks are going to make their returns from you and even more, because you are paying the bare minimum for a very long time. So if you really want to deal with being broke, I would say that tackle your debts, minimize your debts as much as possible. I used to struggle with this in the past, where I had so much debt and I felt like I was working backwards. And that's because it was just too much for me. It was just too much. And I felt like most of my money was going towards servicing debts. It was going towards these financial institutions, and I was not gaining anything back. And that is why I always struggled with money, always never having enough money in order for me to live. And so what I did was I started tackling my debts, and that freed up so much of my money. The last point, which might be very touchy-feely for some people, but it has to be said. The reason why many of us are always broke is because we have so many policies that focus on the future and not on the present. We don't have systems and coverage for the now. We have everything set up for the future. So when I say future policies, you have multiple funeral covers, you have multiple life covers, you have so much money that you have set aside for when you die. Money that you're not even going to benefit from when you pass on. It's actually going to be your beneficiaries that are going to benefit from that. Most of your money goes towards that, such that now you have no emergency fund, you have no savings. If you do have savings, it's just the bare minimum, and you have no investments, but most of your investments are like, okay, for death and for life covers and what. So please be careful of that. I'm saying this because I know that when I was growing up, my mother had so many of those, and I think that many of us actually saw that from our parents, where they had so many policies to cover their lives, especially funeral policies and life covers that they don't really need, And it took away from their cash flow. It took away from their money, because they were paying for all of these things because they've been sold that these are the things that you need. You don't need so many of them. You don't need multiple life covers. You don't need multiple funeral covers. You just need to make sure that you have some of that. You have a funeral cover, you have a life cover, and then have an emergency fund. Have an emergency fund, because that's going to protect you in the now. Because when you're looking at funeral covers and life covers, we're looking at, the future. So you don't want to spend so much money on the things that you're not going to benefit on, especially because they focus on life after death. You're not going to be there to benefit from all of that, So the reason why many people are always broke is because they would rather invest in most of those things, and instead of building an emergency fund, instead of saving for their children's education now, so that in the future they know that their children's education is taken care of, they would rather have all these things that they're not going to directly benefit from, because they are focused on life after death. So that is it for today's video. If you found this video helpful and insightful and interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Until I see you on the next one, please take care and stay safe.